What's up, everybody? King Azz-hole here, and welcome to another episode of Tips and Tricks with King Azz-hole. Today, the main topic is going to be 30 weight weapons and 30 weight claws. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, King, I thought you said that 10 weights were the best claws. Well, excuse me, I just ate breakfast. In certain situations, yes, the 10 weight is dominant over the 30 weight claws, but due to recent study, I've realized that a 30 weight claw could be just as deadly as a 10 weight claw if you know how to use it right. You see, a 30 weight claw, well, depending on which one it is, since I think different 30 weights have different hitboxes, such as the COVID claw, but, well, that's not even a 30 weight, never mind. Anyways, the 30 weight claw has a weird hitbox. I don't know, it's just off. And I've gotten hit with a lot of 30 weight claws before because, you know, people suck at fighting. And I've realized sometimes it's hard to counter them. Like when I try to counter, I press B and then I don't counter and then I get hit a lot by it because if you press B, there's a certain time that, okay, let's say you press B and you don't counter. There's a certain little window where even if you press B before you get hit, you won't counter. It's like a cooldown for the counter. It's like a 0.5 second cooldown. So let's say you miss the counter, you're gonna get hit for that 0.5 second window. And you might think that's not a lot, but trust me, in a heat of battle, especially with this new counter system where the stun time's only like 1 second, every hit counts. Literally every hit counts. And those small hits from you missing is gonna add up until the end of the fight. And if you lose, that's probably why. Now, the 30 weight. As you can see, I'm fighting this level 35, and he's struggling to counter because he can't really predict when I'm gonna hit him. Because sometimes the 30 weight claw can register damage, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the item itself will like just go through your body and not even hit you, and then when you least expect it, it'll hit you. And occasionally when you get hit, you'll get into a unique stun animation where you're not actually stunned, but your character, like, you know, it reacts and then it rubs its eyes because it got hit, and you can't really do much unless you press B. And you know, it just really puts you in an awkward situation. A 30 weight claw can be extremely deadly if your opponent is under pressure, because in the reality of things, it does the same damage as a V and L. It's just, well, yeah, as a 10 weight claw, I mean, it's just it has a different hitbox. It's not as long, but it is as like deadly in a way because of its hitbox. A V and L, you know, sometimes it could be really dominant over a 30 weight claw, but look at this loser using chair legacy on a level 16. Anyways, yeah, as I was saying, a 10 weight can be dominant over a 30 weight claw. It's just the fact that sometimes a 10 weight claw could be weaker in a situation than a 30 weight claw, due to your opponent being able to counter more often, due to you having more range, and you know, the hitbox is not as wanky. And you know, if your opponent can like counter a shit ton, then it's a really bad situation for you. And that's why I don't use the giant plastic sword and the chair that much. I only use the chair in certain situations that I will get to in a minute. But back to the 30 weight claw, as you can see, this legacy player is really struggling to counter me, and when he does, it doesn't really get that much value, since, you know, he uses rage after. He uses calm, which is a very stupid play against the level 16. Obviously, it's a modded share, and it's gonna do way more damage to my armor. So my armor's starting to break. I'm gonna fix here in a bit. But as you can see, he's like really struggling to hit me, and he's really struggling to get those counters in so he can stun me. Like that's what a legacy players need, is the stun time. Other than that, they're just going back and forth like a bunch of losers trying to get one hit of damage so they could kill you. Seriously, I don't know how this community has just went from, you know, actual skill. No. It went from, you know, just using Mad Fist back then and insta-killing people to people actually needing skill, and then now we're at fucking the legacy chair era where everyone's just using chairs and legacy like a bunch of losers, and they're modding that shit because somehow, well, not somehow, I already know how, it's from the event. but you know, they were able to redo the event and make these high level chairs. It's pretty dumb, and I really hope that VNL either nerfs Legacy or they nerf the chair itself. I would really recommend, like, you know, changing the chair's range. Especially the damage is fine, you know, the chair does below average damage because it can hit you so many times, but the fact of the matter is that it's so big and the hitbox is so wide that you're most likely going to get hit by the Legacy, the final move of the Legacy, and you'll take a lot of damage. Anyways, the level 50 just gave up and he kind of just went away from me after we turned white. But yeah, I mean, this, for example, the Xmas Claw, it's like the basic 30 weight weapon, 30 weight claw. What am I typing? Oh yeah, I was talking about that one guy who uses VPN. But honestly, if you really want to change your arsenal to be more, you know, I don't know what's the word of variant or like different or some shit like that, then you should probably use a 30 weight claw. But I would only use it if your opponent is struggling and under a lot of pressure, because if you could keep... Okay, the 10 weight claws were keeping distance. As you can see, I just destroyed the level 21 because he struggled to counter. But the 10 weight claws for distance and the 30 weight claws for applying pressure, and that's what I've been doing lately. It's been working. And really, that's it about the 30 weight claw. Like, it has a weird hitbox. Sometimes you can't even counter and you take a lot of damage because you get hit over and over before you can counter again. And yada yada yada, blah blah blah. I'm gonna die here soon because I accidentally get hit by that guy's chairs. Probably modded because it one-shot me. And I'm gonna go over here to my level 115, just, you know, watch this jump that's going on. And that's another problem too, is that look at all those chairs and look at all those people using Legacy. You know how pathetic that is? Like, it's hard to watch. Like, some of these respected people used to be like, you know, decent fighters or something shit like that, and now all they can rely on is Legacy and chairs. Like, literally almost everybody in this server is holding a chair except for me, and I find it really dumb. And the sad part is that the reason people are using chairs is because one of the only ways to counter a chair user, especially if they're using Legacy, is to use a chair yourself. And to me, it's hypocritical, but since I do it, you know, I mean, it's like the norm of things. It's like the quote-unquote meta. I don't know why Sweet Dude still thinks that the power launcher is going to be the meta, but, you know, he's retarded. Yeah, really, it's just me watching these guys fight it out like a bunch of losers. Like, I respected some of these people, but now that I'm seeing this, like, they don't even use skill. This is not skill. This is not skill at all. It's pressing 3 buttons, going back and forth with the scooter, praying to God that you hit somebody. And if somebody that you know is bombing them, then you just stand in front of them and press the same 3 buttons and do a shit ton of damage with a chair, because it has a lot of range. Really, if you really want my respect, don't do this shit. It's honestly pathetic, especially if you die while using it, or you die because you're trying to jump with them. And later in the video, I actually do kill some of these guys because, you know, they started to pick on me and I started to fight back. And really, it's just really pathetic. It's really pathetic to see, like, how they move when I'm standing still. And yeah, I think I'm gonna cut this voice off here. You guys could just watch this footage of me just watching them, or you could skip ahead in the video, you know. Eventually I do end up fighting them, or I try to like join in, but there is some clips that I kill some of them at the end. And yeah, I'll see you then. Hey guys, King Asshole here, and I just came back to say, like, look how pathetic this is, dude. They're just bombing one person. I mean, it is that VPN user, but still, I wouldn't even do that to a VPN user. I wouldn't jump them with a bunch of fucking chairs and bombs, especially, like, if you really want to beat somebody and actually put them down, just fucking, beat him in a 1v1. That's the only way to officially beat somebody. Doing this is no honor. This is like not proving that you're stronger. It's just proving like, you know how to use gimmicks to your advantage and kill people. Like, it's gotten to the point where I've seen these quote-unquote strong players, dying to each other, back and forth, because it's not a matter of who's more skillful in this thing. It's a matter of who can get more hits in Legacy. Like, it's dumb. It's really dumb. Like, half of the time it's dependent on luck if your opponent is dumb enough to just walk into your attacks. And as you can see, I'm trying to fight this level 55 because he's like a stray one of the group, and he's using share Legacy and he's pretty gay, so I hate him. It's also another way to show, like, there is a lot of weaknesses to Legacy. It's just people can't really exploit them, because usually when somebody's using Legacy, they're with like 5 other people trying to kill you. For example, this, and look at all those bombs. They're literally bombing somebody just because, they want to kill them. And that's not really a way to put someone down, as I said. And the reason why is because they're not going to think, oh my god, they're so much better because they killed me. They're going to think, wow, what a bunch of assholes. They're weak because they jumped me. And that's what I think all the time. And a way to put them down and make them respect me or hate me is to just beat them in a 1v1. That's what I always try to do. Usually, though, people like this never accept 1v1s. They always have to fight with their clan. Otherwise, they're practically useless in a fight. Because without their clan, what are they going to do? Just spam Legacy against me? That's not really a good strategy, because I know how to counter Legacy. Especially chair Legacy. It's so much easier to counter because of the range. But of course, sometimes if you're unlucky, you'll get hit here and there, but it's easier to counter with the chair. It's really only good for jumps, but jumping really shouldn't be like a main factor of this game. I really wish Vino could do something about this. I mean, he has. I guess the 1-second timer like nerfs bombs a tiny bit, but if you're in a cage, you're basically done for, especially if there's multiple bombers. It's really almost impossible to survive. And eventually I do get jumped by these guys, and I do get caged. So, like, you'll see that in a second of how to survive if you're in a cage. Just fucking spam for your life and hope for the best. There is also some mini strategies in there where you hit the bomber with your flasher, and then on your screen it breaks. As long as the bomb breaks on your screen, they can't throw bombs at you. Of course, on the enemy screen, excuse me, you are still getting bombed and you're flinching, so your attacks won't register on their screen. But the important thing is that you're breaking the bombs on your screen, so that way you don't take the bomb damage, you don't get stunned. And you could also use this to your advantage, because if the person who caged you is using Legacy, you could just like spam the 3-tap attack or the 1-tap attack or whatever attack to keep them in the like getting hit animation like that. And they can't really do the Legacy combo and hurt you on your screen. But really, just surviving a cage really depends on screen mechanics, or the fact that it's just like, if it's a 1v1 and somebody cages you, then there is a lot of ways to beat them, especially if they're using Legacy. Because if they're using Legacy and they don't have calm and they're in a cage with you, you could easily just either wild swings or calm spam them. Because really, if they're caging you, dude, it's okay to spam, because they put themselves in that situation, not you. And eventually that does happen, and that does almost get them killed. But that's like way later on in the video. Sorry, my cat is like being dumb in the background. But I don't know what this level 75 thinks he is. I just killed him. And his little bomber friend's right here too, so, but he gets away. I'm gonna fight King Sahari or whatever, that guy in the Juden wings, and then his fucking friend Sup Fam or whatever. And really, they get so mad that I kill them that they just mock me, because they're not with their friends and they're not jumping me. King does jump me before the big fight, but you'll see that I'll actually live it out and surprisingly just escape. And for some reason, his friends just leave him, so I get to 1v1 him, but it's just him, like, going back and forth on a scooter using Legacy, hoping I run into him. And how I know he's just going back and forth with Legacy is that I actually just stand still in the fight sometimes, and that's all he's doing. And once he realizes I'm just standing still, he actually comes towards me, instead of, like, you know, just going back and forth, like, trying to dodge my attacks and getting one hit off of me with Legacy. Really, this community's... really, I just wish it turned into the Saw community where people actually were trying to use skill to kill people instead of just this pathetic display. And that was really one of the main reasons I liked School of Chaos, is because everybody fought with honor. Nobody did this bullshit where it was just how many times you could kill somebody in a jump rather than how many times you could beat them in a 1v1. Like, in Clan Wars, I understand. I completely understand. You know, that's the only time I would jump people is when... Well, I would jump people, like, you know, for fun and when I want to. I never want to jump people. Sometimes it has to come to that, though, because, you know, they're jumping me. But if I have the choice to either 1v1 them or jump them, I always choose to 1v1 them. It's respectful, and it shows that they can't fight in a 1v1. It's more embarrassing to lose to somebody in a 1v1 than, you know, it's more embarrassing, yeah, in a 1v1 than a jump, because, you know, it just shows how weak you are without your friends. And I don't know, man. I really just wish these people would just fight for honor instead of trying to prove that they could kill each other in jumps. That's why I don't really like joining clans, especially like the main clans, because most of the time it's just them jumping. It's never 1v1s, dude. And being in a clan like that would give me a reputation that, oh my god, he's in that so-and-so's clan, so let's jump him. And really, I don't really want to be in that situation. I was in that situation against the world where I was fighting rapid fire members left and right because I was in that clan. Of course, since I loved Against the World, dude. Those guys were like family to me, and, you know, they really helped me out financially, and, you know, with giving me high level accounts to borrow. It really just helped me out in the long end, and here I am now beating up high levels. It's just the fact that I kept getting jumped by rapid fire members. Of course, most of the time they failed because they only had like 2 or 3 people going after me, and I'd kill one of them and they retreat. Or fucking Azz-hole sword would try to 1v1 me, and then he'd take a lot of damage, and then he'd try to legacy me, and then he'd run away, or he'd call his friends. It's dude, honestly, I don't know. But yeah, I've given you some tips on how to, you know, beat legacy players a bit, and how to survive a cage jump. It's sometimes in a cage jump, you're not always guaranteed to survive at all. Sometimes it's a guaranteed death, and you're just waiting for the inevitable. But if you know how to, you know, take down your enemies, like, for example, I'm breaking this guy's bomb on my screen so he's not throwing bombs, and I'm not getting hit by the draining or anything, so it's not really doing much to me. And on his screen, he's still throwing bombs, so the advantage of that is that he's wasting bombs. And yeah, they've been going at this for like, what, 10 minutes now? And I've just been here explaining about how shitty it was. I will end the voice... excuse me. I'll end the voice thing here, and I'll talk again once they finally start jumping me. You could probably skip ahead of the video, or you could watch this, you know, disgusting performance they're doing. Anyways, I'll see you in a bit. Alright, here's about the time where they start jumping me, and I get caged, obviously. It was actually an accidental cage, at least that's what I like to think it was. But they start jumping me because I got caged. And what you really want to do here is probably hold B and then go into your inventory, because it does increase your defense and you won't take that much damage. But if you get bombed, you'll still get hit in between because, you know, you still get stunned. One of the main problems here is that King is not in the Bomber's clan, so he's getting stunned on my screen and not being able to attack. And, you know, another problem is that they're using Wild Swings, and I can easily just use Calm to prevent the damage. I almost die multiple times. It's just the Bomber really saved my ass, because it was stunning King, and, you know, the legacy chair user wasn't really using the chair efficiently. I don't know why, but he was just like very scared to get near me. And the bomber keeps trying to hold me still as they could cage me again, but eventually I break free. And I do make fun of him for it, but really what you want to do is that you want to spam as much food as possible. It doesn't matter if you're at full health, because that regen is still there. So if you take damage, you'll start regenning, because it's like saturation basically. It goes over your health, and if you take damage, it'll start healing you. But it's a hard explanation, but basically what you want to do is spam as much food as possible. As much food as possible, while also trying to counter and use rages to defend yourself. I do get pretty angry at them because, you know, they failed to jump me and kill me. It's really pathetic, and I start to go after them here. I think this was like yesterday, and it was like a 40-minute long video, so I kind of forget, but I think King is trying to challenge me here, so I go after him. And the bomber is like really irritating me, so I want to go after him first, but I was like, no, because I'm not going to be able to catch them, especially if they're just using scooters. And, dude, this is irritating to watch, and I was the one fighting in this, so this is more irritating to fight against. The bomber does get caged, and I was like, oh, finally, so I tried to get this opportunity to kill him, but he just logs. That's all he does. He just logs. He doesn't want to die. Like, really. VNL did put a somewhat punishment in it where, you know, it still gets you the kill even though it logs through the challenge, but sometimes it doesn't work and it's really retarded. But I do go after King here. I think, yeah. I start to go after King because, you know, he jumped me and I wanted revenge. So I do a shit ton of damage to him because of his Judy Wings. I'll tell you right now, Judo Wings suck. They're only for looks. I know they're like basically Dragon Wings but stronger, but they're not. They're really not. They really just put you at a disadvantage in this situation. Because I don't know why, but you just do so much damage against those guys. And that's why I don't really like flashy items except for like the Heart Sack, because Heart Sack's really the only way to go. Yeah, it's just I'm standing still and look at what they're fucking doing. They're missing, like, by miles. And I guess they're fighting now over there. What the fuck are they doing? Yeah, this is legacy fighting. Look at that. What are they doing? It's just looking at this from a third-person perspective is just really weird. This is a legacy 1v1. It's really rare to see these things because usually they're jumping. Not really sure what's going on over here. There's just a bunch of friends getting bombed and jumping with one guy named Gieson. Oh, he's died. That's unfortunate. Alright, just Soda. I think that was the guy who... No, that's my friend. That's another guy. Something Soda. No, Sup Fam. Pretty sure that was his name. He appears here in a second. King's right here though, so I'll go after him. And the one thing you want to do against the legacy fighter is to keep knocking them off their scooter. Trust me, it annoys them. Another thing what you want to do is like not really go towards them when they're running away from them. Just like back up a bit and then you'll be able to dodge easily. Whew, God. Talking for this long is really hard. Yep. Another downside to the stun thing is that you don't really get a lot of time to damage these guys. Why is Ultrax there? I forgot why it was there. Oh yeah, there's Sup Fam. Yeah, they start jumping me with chairs. It's really retarded. And they do this for a long time. They don't really... They almost kill me like once or twice. But, they're not gonna get the kill on me because Legacy could do a lot of damage, but you can only really kill somebody if they're, like, broken armored or they're really low health. As you can see, my strategy's working where I keep knocking them off their scooter and they're getting, like, really annoyed because I can't pull off their combos, and they're just trying to break my armor at this point. King is taking a shit ton of damage because of his wings. Janet is one of my friends, but of course she can't really stop these guys from being gay, so I just keep on fighting. She invites me to the clan. I will use this as a protection deal later because eventually they do cage me again, and I just join the clan until the cage runs out, and they do kick me so they can kill me. King is over here being gay. He's trying to jump into the fight. I'm trying to 1v1 Sup Fam because, he finally reverts to OS because he realizes Legacy is not going to work on me. King is being retarded and still thinking it's going to work. But, he's just going back and forth and shit. And Sup Fam is trying to break my spatula, but really, it's kind of hard to break a high-level weapon if you can barely hit them. The problem with the heavy clasher is that the hitbox sucks. Yeah, sure, it does like 47 clash or whatever it does, but the hitbox is horrible. You'll only hit them like once or twice or 3 times if you're lucky, if you got them stunned, because the hitbox is like that horrible. But yeah, they caged me here, and I finally used the clan invite because I realized, man, I might actually die from this. So I say imagine because I'm using calm and I'm basically invincible because all of them are using rage moves against me. And one of the many mistakes of jumpers is that they use 2 shit offensively, and that guy just really pulled out a bomb. So I realized, okay, so he's in whatchamacallit, he's in war school. So if I join the clan, I'll be immune to his bombs, and King will actually be stunned. I thought Janet was actually gonna unfriend me and try to kill me too, but thank God she didn't. It would have been really harder. He's using energy bombs because the energy bombs stun you more, they hit you more instead of the regular bombs, but they just, they don't really do that much damage to the health. And I tell them, look how pathetic they're being. Like, they're trying to kill me even though I'm already in the clan. Like, it's really hard to watch, dude, and I'm the one being jumped, especially when they can't even kill me right. And I'm over here just like I'm mocking King because I'm just countering him right in front of him, and he can't really do much about it. And eventually they do kick me because, they want to kill me for whatever reason instead of just letting me 1v1 people. But yeah, I'm just pretty much mocking King because he can't even block counters apparently. I asked King if he wants to 1v1. Obviously, that's not going to happen because if he 1v1s, he dies. And I do eventually kill him later because he does try to 1v1 me. But I try to bring him down the hall so that way if any new members show up that they won't be able to see the fight and run towards me. And I'll be able to pick them off one by one. Oh yeah, that's Sup Fam. That's the chicken guy. So, Sup Fam and we eventually 1v1. And then King just like comes and he swoops in to try to do a little bit of a damage, but he's not really that much of a nuisance. He's just like somewhat annoying. But really, King helped me more than anything because when he came at me with the legacy attack, he allowed me to counter without like getting hit by Sup Fam. So Sup Fam didn't expect me to counter, but since King was hitting me, I just randomly countered, and then Sup Fam wasn't able to react because he was like, how the hell did he counter? So really, King jumping into my fight, going back and forth like that, it helped me more than anything. My armor does start breaking because, I've been jumped by these guys for like about 10 minutes. Excuse me. And I bring them down the hall more because, I don't want any more members to jump in. There are some spectators waiting to see if I'll die, but, it's funny because at the end of the day, some of them were cheering me on because I was getting jumped and I was actually surviving. And I think that's why they wanted me to join the clan because I was able to survive jumpers. But look at Sup Fam himself, dude. It was just going down. And that's the downside of the chair. It just doesn't do that much damage. I mean, it's below average damage. The main use of a chair is to just, clash. Because it has a huge hitbox. It can hit you like 5 times a second. And it has 20 clash. It just has below average damage. That's the only downside of it if you level mod it. Yeah, Sup Fam is really bad at fighting. struggles a lot. I don't know why and how, but I just eventually kill him because I think one of his suits break or some shit like that. Um, but he was the one jumping people, and I don't know how his stuff's breaking if he was the jumper instead of being the targeted one. King, as you can see, King like watches sometimes, but sometimes he'll like swoop in if Sup Fam's getting his ass kicked, and it allows Sup to heal up with the regen and shit. It's a bit annoying, but you know, it's not really that much of a problem because Sup Fam does take like, a lot of damage from this weapon. I rather prefer the spatula over anything because you know it does a lot of damage. It's a pretty good clasher and it has a lot of condition overall. Um, I think it's modded too. I don't know if Zay modded it, but you know, it just does a shit ton of damage. And as you can see, King is actually giving me a lot of opportunities to counter Sup Fam and do a shit ton of damage. And he's doing that by doing the rage, and I was able to like chain counters off of his legacy attacks. And all you really have to do if you're getting jumped like this is that you want to counter the legacy user as much as possible. It'll give you so much value over the guy you're fighting. King eventually does stop, but he changes to his claw. I don't know why, but I guess he just wants to do more damage. It does hit me hard once, but like that's only once out of like the 50 times he tried. Even his clan members are telling him to move because it's a 1v1. And then King says it's fun, like a retard. I don't know why he said it like that. But, you know, it's not fun, it's more annoying, and I'm pretty sure Sup Fam's... The only reason Sup Fam is surviving because I had to focus on King, too. But at the end of the day, King was actually just helping me because I was able to chain counters off him because he's dumb and he doesn't know any of their mechanics. All he knows how to do is press CAC, and that's all he knows. And, I don't know why he switched to the Heavy Clasher here. Again, the Heavy Clasher sucks because of the hitbox. As you can see, only got hit once out of the whole combo he did because of how bad the hitbox is. You're not really gonna get that much value from the Heavy Clasher. Really, the Heavy Clasher is probably only good for breaking bombs. Even then, the spatula can outclash it. It just really doesn't make sense to me. And I do kill Sup Fam here. And... I make fun of him because he's weak in 1v1, so I go after King here, and he starts to run away. He just runs away. I mean, he does hit me here and there, but he just runs away in general. He brings me to the other side of the main hall. And really, I'm just irritated because... even with them jumping me, at the end of the day, I was able to kill them. Because, you know, I know how to, I know the mechanics like the back of my hand. Obviously not all of them, but the mechanics I already know now, I know them like the back of my hand. Of course, there's always something new to learn, especially with the new updates coming out, but he puts on more armor and then we get into our 1v1. And then, you know, they're all talking to me because they want me to join war school because I kicked their ass. It's really, really sad to see this shit. And yeah, look at me just standing still and like walking really slow. It really shows what a legacy player does. He hits me hard there, but it's not really gonna be much because all legacy players do this. If a person's at low health, they'll get cocky and they'll get like really close, and it's really easy to just counter them or damage them heavily. And he uses a rage here, which is a very bad move if you're trying to kill somebody, because if they have calm, they're just gonna use calm and be able to defend themselves and heal. By spam healing, of course. I don't know what these guys are doing in the fight. They're not really jumping. They're having their own 1v1. I'm just, like, mocking King from how, like, he's moving and shit. Dude, really? Yeah, legacy players just kind of run. That's all they really know how to do, is just run back and forth. Of course, that is, you could say, like, some OS players do that, but it's just a really different way of doing it. Because even as an OS player, you have to dig in there if you really want to get any damage. These guys just go back and forth to get one hit off, and that's it. And the sad part is that it gets value for them. But since I know how to counter a legacy player in 1v1, like, look at this shit. He's barely able to hit me, and I'm hitting him more than he's hitting me, so I'm doing way more damage to his armor than I'm doing to him. You may think like, oh, he's doing more damage through legacy, so your armor's taking more damage even though you're getting hit less. That's actually pretty false. Sure, it does. My armor does take more damage, but if he's only hitting me like once every like a minute or two, that's not gonna stack up at all. And me hitting him here and there, especially if I'm hitting him like 5 times right there, you can see him flinch and his health going down. I'm doing more damage to his armor than he's doing to me. And you know that in a fight against a legacy player in a 1v1 situation, which is rare, usually a day jump. But yeah, I do get the kill on King here, and there he goes. He wasn't able to do anything. And Sup Fam comes here, but I don't kill him in the end, because I guess he gets pissed off at me because you know, I'm just OSing him and he's not used to somebody fighting better than him, I guess. And doesn't understand what I'm doing, and it's just basic OS. And I don't know, he calls me a runner, but he's rolling all around trying to avoid attacks. Like, look at him, he's rolling all over the place. And really, me moving away, because he thinks like there's like some little circle you're supposed to stay in the hall. You know, otherwise you're called a runner. But that's not it at all. I'm just trying to chase him down as he rolls away or rolls towards me. But I don't get the kill because he does like this thing at the end where he like mocks me, saying like, oh hey, I'm fighting like Juice WRLD, I'm fighting like Juice WRLD. And he's just swinging and he's running across the hall. He just runs away from me, basically, trying to like mock me and shit because he knows he's not gonna beat me. And he does cage me because he gets irritated at the fact. But I'll cut to that in a second there. I'm gonna actually end this voice thing, and once he does do that, I'll start talking and explain what happens. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit. What's up, guys? Okay, this is the part where he actually cages me. I don't know how he got the cage in, but somehow... Oh yeah, because he rolled away, that's how. And then he hit me. He does get the cage in here, but the problem is that he doesn't have calm. All he has is touche and be happy for some reason. And I was able to just calm spam him and do a shit ton of damage to both his weapon and his armor and his health. Like, look at the amount of damage I'm doing to him and the amount of hits I'm getting in because of the calm. Like, even though he's blocking, he's taking a shit ton, and he's trying to roll and use touche. That almost gets him killed because, rolling into somebody while they're attacking is a horrible strategy. Sure, you hit them, but if they counter you, you're basically done for. Like, I don't know why a lot of people do this. He's trying it again, he's taking so much damage for it. Like, getting me into a cage and if you don't have a bomber or friends around, it's not a good time. Especially, even if you have calm, all I really have to do is just use calm, and then you're forced to use calm, otherwise you get punished. And, it stalls out the cage timer, and I break his weapon here because I was hitting him so much. And then I start doing a shit ton of damage to his... He calls me a spammer, even though he's the one who caged me, which is like 10 times worse. And then he pulls out the heavy clasher. It's not really going to do much, especially since I'm using a chair. And I was only using a chair because, for one, my clasher was starting to break down because I've been fighting these guys for like 30 minutes. And for two, I was just getting kind of tired of this. I was really getting tired of fighting these guys. They're pretty just pathetic. And all they know how to do is jump people. That's all they know how to do. If they're alone, they suck ass. And I tell him he's only useful in a jump, and he... He's so mad. Oh god. We're somewhat reaching the end of the video here. There's about like 3 minutes left. 4 minutes left. I don't fucking know. It's like early in the morning. I'm really tired. It's probably why I'm talking weird too. Because I have to explain this through a 40-minute video of how, all this shit's going on. But I guess this long video is a payment for you guys for me not uploading that much. If you're actually wondering about the podcast, I don't know if I'll continue that or not because Jeff has been going through depression or whatever. So I've just been like leaving him alone. I might get a new co-host, or I might just do the podcast myself. But the podcast is going to take a pause for now. I will decide if I'll just, drop it or I'll continue it myself. And I'll update you guys on that situation too. But here's the part where Fam actually just runs away from me. Yeah, he's saying he's fighting as B. And as you guys can see, as you guys have been watching, I haven't been running across the hall like that shit, dude. Like, are you kidding me? I mean... Look how hard he's trying. It's just... I really hate this community. It used to be something more. And now it's just... this. Pathetic ass players. Okay, and this guy just randomly comes into the fight. And then Subfam runs away. And it lets me 1v1 this guy. I thought they were gonna jump me at first, but they don't. The jail claw guy just comes after me for whatever reason. I think he's in war school, but I can't really check. But he's using a jail claw, so obviously he's gonna lose. The funny thing is that he's gonna tell me to wait so he can do something, and I'm like, he jumped into my fight. Why the hell would I wait? So I just go after him until he dies. He wasn't really that much of a challenge either. Here's where he tells me to wait. Oh, brother. And the reason I'm using the giant plastic sword version 3 is it's not that bad of a weapon. I mean, sure, there's way more better weapons out there, but... yeah, it's a pretty decent weapon. It's all I really got right now. The other smuggler weapons just suck ass. I'm not really sure why the video just, like, lagged out right there, but, it's a production issue. And I almost kill him, like, 3 times, but somehow I don't. That always happens to me, though. Is I almost kill somebody, and then I don't, and then they just run to heal. It's annoying, but, everybody does it. But I think it's because his armor's really. I have a fucking speech impediment right now. What the fuck? Whew. I forgot how I kill him. Hang on. Let's just get through the video. I'll recognize it. G-Scroll looks how I run, even though he's the one who ran across the hall. Because he was losing. Not... Also to add that he was jumping me before, so I don't know why he's complaining. Yeah, this guy is trying to zap me, and I just use calm and kill him because his defense is really low. And yeah, that's the final fight of this video, actually. I just get really tired and exhausted because I've been dealing with these guys for like 40 minutes. So yeah, this is the end of the video, guys. I'll see you next time.